Hi.
Hi.
We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Hi, everybody. I see a lot of you were already in here chatting with each other. That's great. So hi, Barb, Valerie, Janie, Michelle, Tracy, Donna, Sarah, Mary, Linda. Oh, T. King. I don't know your first name. And we've got Joan. Was T. King, was it Tracy? Another Tracy?
I think it might be.
Oh, Emily's here. Catherine, Lillian,
the gang's all here.
Alberta. Everybody's here. Yeah, Kim, Joe. Oh, we've got UK. I think it's late there. It would be way past my bedtime. Oh, we have Luana from Missouri. Kelowna. This is awesome. Kelly, I haven't talked to you all week.
I know. It's been so long.
I know.
Well, okay. I feel like, though, we have to at least say who we are, because I was going back to Tech Watch this last time, and we just jump right in. So welcome to everybody. This is our Tuesday night knit chat for our Knits and Pieces podcast. This is not a regular podcast. This is our virtual coffee shop gathering to sit and knit and share what's on our needles. Or not knit. Are you drinking wine this week, Noelle? That was a little problem last week.
Actually, I'm actually just going to try and knit this time.
Okay. And
who knows? Maybe halfway through I might be telling Ross to get me a glass of wine.
So this is our Knits and Pieces YouTube channel. And you can also find us, because we don't even do show notes. And I was thinking about that too, Noelle. People might be lost. So if you're trying to find us on Instagram, I'm the Tangled Stitch. I'm also the Tangled Stitch on Ravelry. And you are?
I am N's Knits and Pieces on Ravelry and Noelle's Knits and Pieces on not YouTube, Instagram. But actually, once this goes on, right? It takes a while for it to render.
It does. It takes about 24 hours.
Right, to give us access to it. But after that, I can actually go and I can copy and paste that from another video and just put our contact information down there.
Okay, good.
So then at least it's underneath it.
So now that all of that is behind us, welcome, everybody. We love this. This is the biggest outing of my social week right now. We're coming to you from Southern Ontario, Canada, and we are still currently in lockdown. So this is a big deal for me to get out, to get together with knitty friends and to talk about things and to see what everybody else is up to. And we're having a lot of fun following, and we really love meeting with you every week. So if you're returning, welcome back to the shit show. And if you're new, hang on tight. This is
That's right.
This is driven by the comments that we're going to receive throughout the show. So whatever people are typing, that's what we're going to be responding to. And so hello to everybody. There's so many of you in here.
Yeah, we're so glad you're all here.
Yes,
it is. It's especially now that they're talking about extending the lockdown again. I'm just like, oh, come on. Like so anyway, so it's so nice to have this and still be able to connect this way. But it's, I'm sure for everybody else too, it's just a tough go, right?
It is. I'm super jealous right now if you live in an area where your restrictions have been lifted and that you get to do all the things. Because I'm starting to see that on Instagram.
I know.
Like we're starting to see people go out and do things again. I have to say, like, I'm super jealous. I just am.
I know. And I'm dreaming at night, but I'm dreaming at night that I'm in a mall somewhere and I'm freaking out because nobody has masks on. Like, I don't know how long it'll be before we can actually feel like we can go back and not be masked up. Like, is it going to feel funny at first? Like,
yes.
Anyway. Yes. So, but I did have a good dream that I was actually on vacation and everything was back to normal and fine. So that was a good dream.
Well, that is a good dream. That's a great dream.
And hopefully we will get there. So.
And hopefully it's not a dream for much longer, because I want to go places again. I want to travel. I want to do things. I got places to go. I got things to do.
I just want to see my family. I just want to have all my kids over for a Sunday night dinner.
Yes. So, yeah, I know.
You know, like one of my son's fiance, well, she's my daughter-in-law, but they were over for just like a short 5-minute visit, right? Just to drop something off for Mother's Day. And she's like, it's like deja vu because we had to do exactly the same thing last year. Where we couldn't get together and we couldn't have Mother's Day. And, you know, who would have thought a year ago that we'd still be in this now?
And I find it's funny because I catch myself all the time. I'm referring to something that I did last year, but it's actually something I did 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
I forget that we didn't have a summer last year, that we weren't able to do things. And I'm like, oh yeah, last year when I traveled here, there, or wherever. But Luana says she doesn't feel so lonesome now that she has her knitting podcast friends.
Yay, that's good.
Yes,
that's good.
Yay. That's the whole point.
And this is something that can continue all through, like, right?
Yes.
Like even once we're out of the pandemic, it's still nice to be able to connect with people that we wouldn't see because of distance.
Would never have met because of distance. So, but hope to one day.
Yes. Yeah. When we go to Norway.
Yes, when we go to Norway. We were still getting comments about that. That was so sweet last week. You guys.
We're still going.
We're on that Norway. Yeah, I was going to say the Norway train, but we're not going to train to Norway. No, we're not going to train to Norway.
And we're not taking a boat across the ocean.
So Linda, thank you, says that our sweaters are gorgeous. I have a question for you. I have a question for everybody. So I'm wearing my love note tonight. This is my blue one of two. And underneath it, I have let me see. It's like a beige, just a flesh colored camisole. I never know what to put underneath this because here's the thing. So I feel like it looks like I'm naked underneath the love note sweater. So I'm honestly not comfortable, but I was in a hurry and I wasn't taking it back off. But if I wear a navy one, here's the thing. So I'm at the wrong arm. So I get like a skin color here on the arm, and then I'll get a dark color underneath the yoke. What does everybody else do about that? If I had a long sleeve shirt, it would be navy underneath. Do you know what I mean? Like, see what I mean? Do I feel like I'm naked under here? I do. I think it looks like
I don't think it does.
No? Okay. Well, I'm always wondering what to do about this anyway. So if you have some suggestions, or what do you wear under yours?
Well, mine's pink, so I wear a pale pink camisole underneath it. But you're right, then it is just a camisole, so your arms kind of show. Or I wear it over top of a dress, so it's the dress fabric that's underneath the love note, right? Because if you had a dress on, you wouldn't even probably think about it.
No, probably not. Because I've done that before. I've worn it as a dress, yeah. But when I don't know, it's just weird. Like I love the sweater, but I'm always at odds what to wear underneath it.
Yeah.
Valerie says she doesn't knit lace for that reason.
Oh, but I like knitting lace.
I
don't worry about the arms, and I just find that I try to find a camisole that's a similar color.
Well, that's the thing, but because this one is so dark, so Mary Ann says the same thing. She matches the camisole to the sweater. Yeah. So I was going to put a navy one on, but then I'd have like flesh colored arms. And I thought, is that going to look right? And I had 2 minutes. So.
Geez, I never thought about mine before, Kelly. Now I'm going to be concerned when I put it on.
And now the world is obsessing over it, right? Klaska wears a black camisole under hers. What color is yours, Klaska? Kathy knows what I mean. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean, but I figure nothing is exposed, right? You're still covered underneath. You've got like I
know, but I looked like I did a quick mirror check before I ran out of the room, and I'm like, I look like I'm naked underneath there.
But you've worn it before. You've worn it before. What did you wear?
I know, and I think I've worn it. If I put a short sleeve t-shirt underneath it, so then I'd have navy underneath this lace piece here. But I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's just me being weird. I love the sweater. I'm still knitting another one.
What do you wear under your gold one?
Probably, yeah, but okay. That's a lighter color.
Yes.
So I wear like a beige camisole under that one as well, but it's gold. So like you don't even notice the skin as much, but it's because this is such a contrast to my untanned skin right now.
Fair, mine's a light color.
Yes, and yours is a light color. So it's just because this one is dark. And whenever I put this one on, I think the same thing. So
Kathy said one of her favorite yarn stores has finally opened back up since October. Yay.
Yay. Which one is that? I don't even see that comment. I'm lost.
It's Kathy. Mary says she doesn't want our party to stop, so she wants us to keep doing this even after pandemic's over. Well, we're going to. Yes,
we're going to.
Sure.
For sure we will. For sure we will. I look forward to this every week.
Yep.
So what are you knitting on tonight, Noelle?
A sock.
A sock.
Yep.
Is that from your Christmas project?
Yes, it is. So this will be my 5th Christmas pair.
Your 5th? Okay.
But guess what? I finished my primrose.
You finished it? Okay. Are you gonna wait for the wait and show it off?
It's blocking. But I have a question. So this is when you block a sweater, and I mean, I've not really worried about it too much in the past, but when you block a sweater, and especially a yoked sweater, when you lay it out, what do you put in it so you don't get seams down the sides of the sleeves and down the sides of the body? Anybody? So today I rolled up towels and I stuck it in each of the sleeves and around the neck. So I stuck it in that to kind of keep it rounded here, because I didn't want a fold line down here.
Okay.
And I didn't want a fold line down the side. So I rolled up towels and I stuck them in the side. And I thought, oh, this is like a lot of towels to wrap up, and you got to get it the right width. And so I asked Ross, I said, what do you think? What do you think would be an idea? And he suggested that I cut pool noodle and do that. So I think I might get a clean pool noodle and cut one. You can put it in one.
Yarn husband Ross, full of ideas.
Yes. So, Tracy says paper towel roll, but it's not big enough. Oh, Elizabeth says my sound is fuzzy.
I thought it was just me because I'm listening to you in here. All right.
I don't know what to do here. Okay, let me try something. This could be brutal.
And this is where it goes to solo knit chat.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, let's try that. Is that any better?
That sounds better to me.
Does that sound better?
It definitely sounds clearer to me, because I thought you were quiet. I had to turn you up in my head, and now you're just louder in my head.
Now I'm really in your head.
Now you're really in my head. I can turn you back down a bit.
Anyway, hopefully that's better. People say they are using pool noodle, so that's a good idea. Oh yeah, everybody's saying it's better. Okay, but I have to take a new picture of those settings for next time. Anyway, yeah. So I thought that if, like, you could do a half of a pool noodle and put it in one sleeve around the neck and down the other sleeve. And then you could also do a U shape of it and put it up the two sides of the sweater so that your sides are going around that. So that you don't get that seam down the side.
Because I'm looking here at Beatrice off to my left. I was thinking if you had like a dress mannequin, you could put it on that. But then
not when it's wet.
No, not when it's wet, because it's going to pull down too much.
Right.
So that's not good either.
So anyway.
Well, pool noodles then.
Okay. That's for next time. That's what I'm going to try, because I've only really noticed it. Like, a lot of the times it depends on the sweater, right? Because a raglan's not that bad, because you kind of got but it's just when it's a yoke, you don't want that.
Right.
You don't want that seam kind of down, or that fold right down the lines of the sweater.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea.
So
it's a great idea. So
anyway,
what else do we have going
on?
What's everybody else working on? I wish we had some pictures on here so we could see.
I know.
But
what are you working on?
Oh, I'm working on my second.
Oh, is that your Shirley Bryan sock?
Shirley Bryan. So I'm back on to another toe.
Did you see my post that I put on Instagram today?
Yes, I did.
Rachel, my daughter-in-law, knit me socks for Mother's Day.
Isn't that sweet?
Nobody has ever knit me socks before. It was so nice to get a pair. I was so surprised. And they fit perfectly, because she didn't tell me. She was showing me them while she was doing them, but she didn't tell me that she cut down stitches and she made it the right length, and they just fit perfectly. So, lots of people doing socks. Elizabeth's doing a blanket. Barb's doing, crochet testing a fingering weight yarn.
Sarah's winding yarn.
Joan's knitting vanilla socks. The rose bush pullover. I don't know that one. I'm going to have to look that one up.
Did you bring your notebook?
I didn't. I could, but we can go back and look at these after and then
yes, I know.
Go from there. So, oh, Rachel's doing her lightweight hipster. Jacqueline's doing broken seed stitch socks. Oh, and the pine wood. I'm going to have to look at that too. I know it would be so nice if we could see these when people say that this is what we're knitting on, so we could see what the pattern was. I know, Luann, it's so nice when someone knits socks for you. So actually the socks she knit me fit better than the socks I knit me because I tend to do them kind of like when I start off, I never know who they're going to be for. So I always usually do 64 stitches, even though for myself, 60 stitches fits better.
Yes.
So, oh, the crofter's cap. I like that. That's the different Shetland yarn. I think that's the new pattern for Shetland Wool Week this year.
Imbue shawl by Lisa Much. Oh, she has such beautiful shawls.
She does have such beautiful patterns.
Is Ross doing
this? Pardon me.
Yes,
dishes? Ross, we can hear the dishes. I want him to do the dishes.
I'm mindful of sounds this week because
we had an audio connection crisis, so we had to not do the dishes then while we were figuring out how to set up the.
Yes, because we had a comment that my needles last week were loud, and they were wood needles, but since where I'm knitting, like my mic is right here, so it can pick me up. It was picking up the clickety clicking of the needles. Oh. So I apologize for that if that was loud.
I don't think I was knitting last week.
I don't think you were knitting. So I'm knitting on something a little quieter this week, but unfortunately, because it's on such small needles and there's a stitch pattern, I have to look down a little bit more. So sorry about that, everyone. There's just no happy medium.
No. Barb says it's awesome that someone's doing my dishes. I agree. It's awesome.
Well, my little kitchen elf is busy upstairs too. He's doing dish. He made dinner too, and now he's cleaning up.
Yes, and I don't know if I said last week too that my husband was the one that made all those peg things along the walls that hangs up all my shawls. So he is very supportive of my hobby, and he's also he makes my sock blockers.
Yeah.
He made my Amish Swift.
And he makes the little hangers.
My arm from. And he makes the little hangers for the little sweaters. And he made me my nitty naughty for winding my spinning. And he made me a lazy Kate that holds 3 spools for my. So it's awesome to have. I just say I might need one of these.
Sue wants to know what is my favorite cast on for socks. For top down. Definitely
just stay for top
German twisted for me. That's what I do. That's
my go-to, but I do sometimes do a tubular, depending.
I like a tubular for casting off.
I do it for casting off too, but I do like it for casting on too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I like that.
Yes, you guys. My husband is a keeper. Definitely. I would never have knit that many shawls if he didn't do what he does in the house.
Well, he occupies half the space in the house. He should help.
He probably, if you talk to him, would say that I actually occupy 95% of the space in the house and he occupies 5%. So.
Well, my husband has a huge shop that he's built since we moved here, and it's big, and it has all of his toys out there and all of his tools. So I feel completely comfortable occupying any space I want in the house when he has all of that, and it's even heated. It's got radiant floor heating.
Yeah,
he can go out there and take naps on the floor if he wants.
Yeah.
What do you think
Mary
of
had?
Sorry.
I was going to say from a comment back, Mary had said that she was going to do the, I was going to say snakes on the plane. I always call it snakes on the plane, but it's not. It's socks on a plane. And just keep going back to that movie, that snakes on a plane movie. Anyway, yes. She was going to do the socks on the plane, but she was going to convert it from their toe up to top down I've always done it top down, Mary. So it's not that you don't have to really switch anything as far as the cables or anything. The only decision that you're going to have to make is whether you want the cable to go straight up into the rib or not start the cable until after you've done the rib. And I've done it both ways. Both ways are nice. So, but it's a super easy pattern to convert. You can just actually do the pattern exactly the way it is. Like I think there might be a little chart for the cable, but you can do it exactly the way it is. You don't have to make any changes there. So
Kathy wants to know, is the Norwegian longtail similar to the German twisted? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Kathy. And Louise isn't here tonight. Louise would know.
No.
Louise would know. The German twisted, it's just like a regular long tail cast on, but there's just an extra little twist when you're flipping it down onto the needle. And that extra little twist is what gives it the stretch that you want in a sock.
Yeah, I didn't.
And it's funny, I actually do that cast on. That's like my number one all-time go-to cast on. And I do it so much that when I get to a pattern that doesn't call for a twist, it's just a regular long tail cast on, it feels awkward. I have to think about it because my thumb wants to do the flip every time. So I always have a hard time thinking, is that right? I don't know if I'm doing that right, but
I just do that regardless of whatever the pattern says to do.
Yeah, but if you don't want a lot of stretch, I guess it really doesn't make that much difference.
For me, whatever way I cast on, I don't think, well, I haven't gone back and done the regular one. I didn't learn the German one until 6 or 7 years ago. And it took a while because you're right, that muscle memory gets so ingrained on how you do something. Mm-hmm. And like, I was so used to just doing a regular long tail cast on that it took me forever to learn to do that German twisted. And then once I kind of got the muscle memory, I couldn't explain it to you.
Right.
You just do it, right?
It's just what you do.
Jacqueline, when Jacqueline was learning to do some different things, Jacqueline, my daughter, she learned it so much faster than I did because she didn't have that other way ingrained in her.
Right.
Yes. So
Sarah wants now I would go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, Sarah wants to know if it flares. No, it does not flare.
No, it doesn't.
Not at all. Not a little bit.
This is what's on. I don't know if you can see.
Well, if you go to the camera.
Up here.
Cover your face. There we go. It should.
It still doesn't want to.
Why it's not locking in. No.
Let's see. Cover my face. Anyways, whatever. No, it doesn't. It's got stretch, but it's not. I don't think it looks it. I don't honestly think it looks a whole lot different than
I don't
regular
think it
long tail
at all. It just has that extra little bit of
stretch,
little bit of give. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Linda just learned that one as well.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and it does. Like it did. I was surprised how long. I remember specifically because we were away in Nova Scotia and I had just bought some Shetland Spindrift and I was doing those little Yggdrasil mitts that Skeindare had just come out with, and it called for a German twisted cast on. And I thought, I am doing this cast on. I must have ripped that thing back. I don't know how many times before I finally got that thing cast on, but I was determined I was going to do it. And then once I kind of got it, now, like I said, you don't even think about it. You just do it.
Michelle is sitting under a big piece of cabled knitting. Oh, that sounds glorious.
Yeah. Okay, so Tracy said she just started doing it. And do you do it all in knit stitch or knit and purl? I do mine all with knit.
I do
it all the same way.
Yes.
And I don't find it really, I don't know. I find it looks fine. It does sort of have one side that kind of looks like the right and one that looks like the wrong.
Right.
But I always, when I'm joining up for socks, I just make sure that part that looks like the right side is the part that's on the outside of the sock. Although they're not that different that. Oh, Maureen says German twisted is also called Old Norwegian.
Okay.
So.
It did actually sound familiar to me because I think that was in a pattern. And Sarah is just talking about a flared. Okay.
Well, that's a bind off.
Bind off. All right. So we could talk about this because this is, did I get my, yeah. Okay. So this was sock number 1 is done of the Shirley Bryan sock. So the way I did this, and Noelle and I were talking about this, but I did, excuse me, 64 stitches on the foot. And then once I got up, I did a little bit of calf shaping. I think I went up to 70 stitches for here. Now, having done that, so then when I did my cast off, I went to a tubular cast off because I wanted to make sure that I had lots of stretch if I would choose to wear them on my calf, right? But truth be told, I probably really won't do that. I will probably just wear them sort of, you know, like kind of scrunchy like this, like as a slouch sock. And if that's the case, I find that that's a little bit flared. I don't know if you can see that. For me, that's just a little flared, like not too much. Well, I guess it wants to sit this way, but you can see that there's a flare to that. And when it's just around my mid calf, it's almost a little loose at 70 stitches. So if I do, well, not if, I will do Shirley Bryan socks again, for sure I will. I love the way the beautiful fade went in these socks, but I wouldn't do that. I would just stick to my stitch count the way it was, and I would go all the way up and just do like a regular cast off. So, but they're so pretty.
But now I find, did you do setup rows before you did the tubular cast off, or did you just do it? Like, did you do the setup rows where you knit one, slip the purl, knit one, slip the purl, and then the second row where you slip the knit, purl the purl? Because it takes 2 rows to make 1 row.
Does it take 2 rows to make? I feel like I only did that one time.
Because you have to slip the knit, or sorry, knit the knit, slip the purl knit, all the way around.
The purl all the way around.
And then the next row you should do slip the knit, purl the purl all the way around.
No, I definitely didn't do that. I did something else. Now I'm trying to think. This was a few weeks ago or a couple of weeks ago. I converted my, what I had to do was I had to convert my 2x2 rib to a 1x1 rib. So
is that a 2x2 rib?
Yes.
Okay. Because to me, like a tubular is a lot easier to do on a 1x1 rib.
Okay.
And I don't think you get the flare on a 1x1 rib.
But it would have been on a 1x1 because I converted it to a 1x1.
No, I know, but the base of that is a 2x2.
Oh, I see.
You just changed it at that, yeah. Like I'm just saying, when I've done it with a 1x1, like if anything, it would be, I would say the stretch I get would be comparable to like that German twisted cast on. And I don't find that there's flaring at all.
Well, this whole little.
Now you're also, I don't, but you're also supposed to go down a needle size when you do that.
No, I didn't do that either.
So, because I've been doing it.
I was already at a 2.25. Where will I go from there?
Well, I know. But I've been doing it on some sweaters, and some of them do suggest that you go down a needle size. Mm-hmm. But then it all depends on how tight you pull things and what, you know what I mean? Like everybody's going to be a little bit different in how they do that. Or even when you're going around and slipping the stitches, how tight you pulled the yarn when you go. If you left it looser, you're going to have more stretch there. If you pulled it tighter, it's going to pull it more in.
Well, when I started doing it, I was doing it fairly loose, thinking I don't want it to be over tight. But then I did tighten up a little bit and it looked better. Right. So if I had been consistent all the way around, it would have.
So I think it's what?
I'm laughing at Kathy. Her neighbor just came to the door asking to borrow something, and hubby does not know where it is. She will catch us later. Oh dear. I have to put a sign on the door next week, Kathy. I was thinking
Natalie
of doing a tutorial for that actually. And I will. For converting the rib and then doing the tubular cast off, because I didn't realize, like I had done tubular before and I didn't realize that it specifically had to be in that 1x1 and that I had to do a conversion. So Michelle is almost to the underarm. She has an inch or so to go before she separates for the front and the back. Yay! So exciting.
Natalie wants to make a really long pair of socks too. I like my Shirley Bryan socks, but boy, that was a lot of knitting. It seemed like to get to the end of that skein.
It is. I know. It just feels like that skein was going to go forever. And I didn't when I got near the end, I didn't know how much I would need for the cuff, right? So I just kind of guesstimated. I think I made notes on Ravelry, but I still ended up, couldn't finish it. I had it because I didn't want longer ribbing. I went 15 rows. So I ended up with a teeny tiny little ball.
See, I didn't do rib on mine. I just did stocking stitch right to the end.
That's right.
I knew I was just going to roll them down. So I used the whole thing.
Yeah.
So Sarah says she's done a tubular cast on, but not a cast off.
Okay.
I would say anytime I can do a tubular cast off, if it's a 1x1 rib, I do a tubular cast off because I just like the look of it. And I think it's something that you either really like the look of it or you don't. Because it's kind of like it rolls under. I just like the way it looks. So
I think it's like the infinity pool of knitting, how it just disappears,
goes around,
off, right? Because I think the first time that I was introduced to that in a more of a current pattern was the Weekender, and because it has that neckline that's a tubular, and I know that a lot of people were not a huge fan, and I really liked that part of it. So, and Valerie said she's going to try it on her next sleeves. I really like it on a cuff,
on a sleeve cuff
too. I think it's a really nice way to do a cuff.
But I prefer to use tubular cast off as opposed to tubular cast on. I do the tubular cast on, but I find I like doing the cast off better. Do you remember doing that tubular cast on?
Yes, I was just thinking about that painful evening. And you said, no wine until we get this thing on our needles. And there's 88 stitches because we were doing a hat. Yeah. And the yarn was so fine.
It was fingering weight.
But it was thin fingering. And it was in a hotel room. So it wasn't great
dark
lighting.
Color. Mine was like dark burgundy.
Well, mine was light gray, but it didn't make it any easier.
And it was on a 2.75 millimeter needle.
And I was on a 2.75 that I wasn't enjoying.
Yes.
With a stiff cord that I'd had to buy at the show that day. I don't know what. Yeah. And we silly girls, we thought we were going to wear those hats to the show the next day.
Didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Oh, well.
Anyway, good to have goals.
I like what Sarah has to say there. She said this is her do not disturb time. She's eating dinner at her desk and her husband and kids are in the kitchen.
There you go.
Way to go, Sarah. That's the way to do it. Carve out that little me time. A lot of people might like to soak in a tub. We're just thrilled to get an hour to be alone to knit.
That's right. Yes, Natalie, that was Columbus.
Yes, Columbus. You should have been with us that night, Natalie.
That's right. Anyway,
that was a good weekend.
Anyway, but since then, though, I find a tubular cast on much easier because I've done it more.
Yeah.
Now, there's also ways to do it with waste yarn.
Isn't that what we were doing? No, we were doing something else. Okay.
And then I've done it with waste yarn a couple of times, but I've gone by and I actually find Andrea Mowry's tutorial on doing it just without waste yarn. I find it pretty easy to follow. And so that's what I do now.
Isn't that what we were trying to follow that night? I think it was.
Was it? Well, maybe I just understand it better now. Anyway, Sarah says she was winding yarn that she got from Timber Yarns for the Be a Freakin' Unicorn fundraiser. Awesome.
Oh, did you?
I know the pictures so are her pictures were gorgeous. Oh, Linda says she calls the tubular cast off a sewn cast off. Well, it is really, because once you get your stitches all positioned, you actually do sew it off. That's the only thing I don't like about it is when you're casting off a whole bunch of stitches.
Yes.
You've got to have that really long piece of yarn.
And if you get to a point and you've shortchanged yourself, you're in trouble.
Well, you can join it up, but then you got to be able to sew it in on the inside, the ends in on the inside so that you can't see it. But it's also very difficult when you're doing it with a woolen spun yarn because it doesn't have the strength to do all that pulling through everything.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I don't like about it. So.
Oh, she got the sock blossom, the worsted stripe, and the sock twins. She couldn't pick one. Lucky girl. You have to put those pictures in KnitChat for us.
That's right.
So we can all share.
I didn't get any yarn in it. I just got fiber. And it's very pretty.
There's been so many. I'm still browsing everything. I haven't made a decision yet.
I know I haven't decided for sure that I'm not going to get some yarn. But we'll see. But now I want to get another Marie Wallin kit.
Are you thrilled with it now that it's done?
I am. And I tried it. Well, it's all the ends are sewn in. They just have to be trimmed. Like I wanted to block it first and then cut the tails off after.
Mm-hmm.
But I've tried it on and it fits perfectly. So I'm very happy with it.
Did you have lots of yarn left over?
There was 2 balls that I didn't even break into. Like they're just 25-gram balls, but I probably only had like a gram left of the color. There's definitely enough left to do like mitts or something like that. I know she's got some sock patterns, but I wouldn't do socks in a woolen spun, non-nylon, low twist yarn. I don't think they would wear very well.
If you added mohair to them, like Tracy does. She puts mohair in her socks.
Maybe. But it would really like make nice mitts though. So
yeah.
We'll see.
Oh, Sarah got her sock blossom in lieu of flowers for Mother's Day. It's nice. I got a toad house.
Did you? I got
a toad house.
From Ross, my husband, I got some new nightgowns because apparently when the weather got warmer, whatever I was wearing, he thought looked pretty ratty. So he said he looked at me one morning and said, well, I know what I'm getting her for Mother's Day.
Was he talking to Mike? Because Mike said the exact same thing to me the other night. He didn't say I had ratty nightgowns, but I came walking into, and I always do this thing. Like I always just put on, I've got like these thermal pajama bottoms, like pants, and then just kind of like a thermal t-shirt. And I've been wearing that all winter. And sometimes I throw a house sweater or a shawl on top. Anyway, I used to wear these like cutesy little nighties and everything in the summer. And when I came walking into the bedroom the other night, because I always take them off before I get into bed anyway, but Mike said, didn't you used to have nightgowns? Didn't you like have some cute little nightgowns? And I'm like, oh, okay. Does that mean it's like winter is over? Trying to shed the skin?
Well, I got 4 new ones. So apparently I can go and throw some of the old ones out. Oh, Tracy's it says she's wearing her mohair socks right now.
It's
I know,
cold out.
actually. I know if my sweater's actually dry by tomorrow, I might even be able to wear it.
Yeah, it's only 8 degrees. I had fingerless mittens on yesterday for the drive into work. And I've had my heated steering wheel and my seat warmers on.
Yep.
It's cold. Yep. It's cold in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, Elizabeth says Black Mountain Yarn Shop has a custom colorway of Shirley Bryan deconstructed fade.
Yes.
We might have to drive there and check that out.
Okay. I can't remember the details. I saved it. It's in my Instagram. I got a message from one of our viewers, and she does retreats, little knitting retreats there. And she says they're really, really affordable, and we're close to there. So they're, it's not in Asheville. It's in another area of North Carolina. So I said, hey, you know what? I wrote the website down. I made notes of it and everything. And I thought that I could also include that when we do our podcast this week.
Yeah.
It's on my list to share. Wouldn't that be fun to go on a knitting retreat?
Yes, it would.
And then we could go to Black Mountain Yarn Shop.
Yep.
Such a great place. Say hi to Donna.
Yep. Buy some yarn. Do some knitting. And it's gorgeous there. The gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous in the mountains. Yep. Yeah. So Natalie says she's working on a colorwork sweater tonight too. Yes, the Marie Wallin one is a colorwork. The one I did it's all over colorwork. So the next one I'm looking at actually might just have colorwork all through the yoke. But I don't know. I really should start knitting some summer sweaters, but it was so much fun knitting it. I just couldn't put it down. So
Sarah, you're right. Our Canadian dollar is up to nearly, actually, wasn't it just over 80 cents the other day? That's the strongest. You're right. Strongest it's been in years. This is a perfect time to go, if only we could.
Except for the borders closed.
Julia says, start the car,
start
the car. Right?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Julia from last week. Like, Julia, what did you order from Woolly Thistle that's sitting in Port Huron? She did. She said she ordered it like last March.
But when it does show up someday, what a great surprise that's going to be.
But they only keep it there for so long before they send it back.
I don't know, but if it's in her post office box, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Mary wants to know if we're organizing a knitting bus for that trip. Sure, why not? We're going all over the world.
Asheville and get our vaccines. Okay. That sounds great too.
Yeah.
I just want to go somewhere. I just want to go somewhere.
Yep.
At this point,
Sue said there's something called Earth Guild for fiber. I'll have to check that out.
Earth Guild for fiber. Okay.
Yeah, and Tracy says mohair and silk are nature's nylon. So I could probably hold mohair with it, but then that's going to make a thicker sock, right? It's because I'm already holding a fingering than with a mohair, and it is actually a little bit thicker of a fingering than what actual sock yarn is.
I know, but more for, let's call them house socks, right? Not necessarily socks that you wear.
Like, après ski socks.
Yeah, like that.
Where you're just sitting around with your legs crossed by the fire.
Yeah, skip the skiing.
That's right.
Let's just sit in the cabin. Let's have some nice little cozy drinks by the fire. You don't have to go skiing. Skip
and the guys can go skiing. Ross would be skiing.
I just feel like it's been ages since we went anywhere, and it's all I can think about. It's just
and we had hoped
getting in a vehicle or getting on a plane, going somewhere. I just want to go.
Yeah,
I don't even care where.
We had actually hoped that we could have gone out east this September, but they're not doing much better than us right now, so it probably doesn't look like that's going to be a go. And you can't really book anything not knowing. And then once things open up, everything's full. So anyway.
So Julia says she uses SCC parcel.
Deborah's 82 today.
Oh, happy birthday, Deborah.
Happy birthday, Deborah. Wow.
Well, we're so honored that you're on here spending your birthday with us.
Yeah.
I hope you are doing something else wonderful besides just this. I hope you're knitting with us.
Oh, Julia had a sweater's quantity of Rama phenol garn.
Okay, but she said that's at SCC parcel. That's who I use too. So I'm curious, Julia, what's happening to those parcels?
Would it still be there?
Well, they're like a big fulfillment center, or not fulfillment center. They used to be a cell phone store, and then they started, because we're on the board, we live on the border. They started accepting parcels there, and you just pay $5
so much per parcel.
To pick up the parcel.
Yeah. But that's what I thought. I thought they only kept it for so long, and then, things could have changed because of the pandemic. But you'd think they would contact the people and try to make other arrangements to either ship it from there, or that's quite a bit of yarn.
Yeah.
So. Oh, Sarah wants to go to Iceland. Okay, Sarah.
Is that on the way to Norway?
Sure.
We can do multi-stops, right? Multi-stop trip.
I would go to Iceland. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. And it's not that long of a plane ride.
No.
So.
Oh! Deborah's now 82. We take back all the birthday cheer. She's not 82. She said the dollar was 82 cents.
Oh. Well, I thought she said I'm 82. It probably just auto-corrected. Oh, no, she just said 82 today. Okay.
Okay. Well,
we told you
your birthday wish there.
Well, happy birthday whenever your birthday is, Deborah. That's too funny.
Julia said she's been trying to get a hold of SCC Parcel. Are they just not answering, Julia? Oh my gosh. Oh, are we going to? We're going to Ireland now too. We're doing a trip to Iceland, Ireland, Scotland, the Shetland Islands, and then Norway. Okay.
Okay.
It'll be the 6-month knitting tour.
That's right.
What a trip that would be. Oh my gosh.
It would be.
We would need steamer trunks to get the yarn home. Are they still a thing?
Linda says, dang, she was just thinking that she was not the oldest.
Sarah thought she was talking about the temperature, and then gosh.
Natalie wants to go on the same trip Sarah's planning. We're all going, Natalie.
Yes, I think Sarah just got nominated as the official trip planner too.
We'll charter a plane.
Oh, how much fun would that be? I said though last week, we just have to keep thinking it. We're going to manifest this to come to us. We don't know when, but we are just going to keep thinking it, and it will happen. We're going to make it happen. We're sending all those positive thoughts out into the universe, and they're going to come right back to us. Okay.
Yep. We have people in all those locations that can help us figure out what we could do in those different locations.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And we don't need to have like big name designers or anything with us that push the costs up, or we just want to knit and have fun.
I want to go to these places and meet local people and sit in their kitchens and knit with them. That's what I want to do.
That's right. Exactly.
I don't want to knit with them. I actually just want to probably sit and watch them knit, because we've already discussed this in a prior episode. I love to watch people knit.
Oh, and Tracy's going to.
One of you, I don't know who, got me onto the hashtag how I knit. And now I obsessively follow it on Instagram just to see how different people knit.
I don't like watching myself knit. I think it looks awkward. So I don't. Anyway, Tracy's going to take us all if she wins the lottery. Yay.
Okay. Thank you, Iwa. We have to be positive. We have to be. That's how we have to get through. We're going to be positive, and we're going to make the good things happen. Mary was just thinking Australia. Well, that's a little deviation, but I think we can fit it in.
It's our dream trip.
It is. Around the world in, I was going to say
80 stitches.
80 stitches, yes. Wouldn't that be a great book if somebody actually put that together, traveling around the world? Sydney is only 16,000 kilometers from Norway. Well, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump then, Michelle.
We could probably knit a pair of socks on the way. You'd be going to two different seasons if you went from Norway. If you did this trip, we'd have to pack double wardrobes.
Well, it's already fall in Australia. We're still waiting on spring. Sarah says my Nova Scotia is showing with a kitchen party. Oh, you know it, Sarah. You know it. You know it. If we come to Austin, we can go see Valerie.
Yes.
Yes.
Sarah brought a whole bunch of silk saris back from India.
Oh, wow. I would love to see that too.
Yes, Michelle, it would be great knitting time on the plane. I used to not be able to knit on the plane, but now, because I'm a very nervous flyer, but I've kind of gotten better a little bit.
The wine helps.
No, the drugs that I got from the doctor helps. It doesn't help my knitting that much.
You weren't that bad when we went to New York.
No.
On the way there.
No, I've definitely gotten better. So I just got mild tranquilizers from the doctor, but actually lately I don't even take them. And I don't sit like with my hands clenched like this anymore on the seat. And it's funny because I don't mind the takeoff and the landing. I just don't like being up in the air. I do not like not being in control.
So if you could pilot the plane, you'd be better? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. But it's like,
I'm not
it's like
bothered
I
by it.
can,
I'm more than anything, I just get bored by it. Like if I'm on a
yeah.
longer flight, I'm like, okay, I've been sitting long enough. 4 hours is kind of where I'm like, all right, I need to get up. I want to move around. So
Linda
we
says
come
she
to
needs drugs to
Nelson.
fly. Yeah.
We can ski at Whitewater. I will sit with Noelle and sip the wine. There you go.
I'm good with that. Yep. Yep. With our nice cozy mohair Fair Isle socks on. I'll get working on those.
Imagine, like if you have the smaller town, if we were going to a smaller town and 25 knitting ladies and all their knitwear show up.
We'd scare them.
Oh dear. Well, it looks like you're not alone with the flying tranquilizers.
No, I think it was just, I just did more flying and got a little bit more used to it. Like I said, I'm sure a lot of it is just I have no control over what happens. If I'm sitting in the car and Ross is driving, sure, I have no control, but I can yell at him. I can't yell at the pilot on a plane when he drives us through turbulence, that's right. Flies us through turbulence.
Yeah. My husband was a really nervous flyer, and he was medicated to fly. And then as time passed, I mean, he just didn't want to take them, but he was still very nervous to fly. So we just started kind of weaning him off, I guess. And eventually we worked our way right down into just naturopathic things that you could get at your local health food store. Holy basil really helped him because it's very calming. And I've used that just to calm down for certain situations where I was feeling stressed. Holy basil is good. Or we would give him melatonin before. So I kind of had this little cocktail of natural things that I would give him, and it calmed him right down. And then now he's able to fly wherever he wants to go. But, well, not right now, but when we were. So for him now, what works is he just keeps his eye on the prize, thinking, I'm not liking this. There's no reason this plane should mechanically be in the air. A cylinder doesn't fly. He said it's not aerodynamic. That's kind of his thought process. He's a millwright, so he thinks about things like this. And but now he says, well, I'm more comfortable because I know that when the plane stops and this is over, then I'm going to be where I want to be, and we're going to be having a great time. So
yes, yep.
And Sarah, I would be totally with you. 12 to 14 hours on a plane going to Japan, way too long. She said at the 8-hour mark, she wants to parachute off the dang thing. I'd be with you.
Yep. The longest one I've had is when we went to Hawaii, and it was actually a broken up flight, right? Because we flew to, where did we go on the way there? I can't remember. Anyways, it was a stop in the US, and then I think it was 10 hours. And yeah, you're 10 hours, it's like, I'm ready to get off. So, but on the way back, it was a night flight, so it wasn't as bad because you do kind of eventually fall asleep. So Julia says the pilots don't want to hit turbulence. It's invisible, so you can't see it. I know, but I hate when they get on and they say, we think it's going to be a rough flight. I'm like, let me off.
Well, I'm reading Valerie. I don't understand Valerie. She said she understands because she and palmetto bugs. Is that a Texas thing? I don't know. What's a palmetto bug? Do tell. I don't like June bugs. That's my thing.
No.
June, they're so sticky.
No, the one thing I did read is that if there's going to be anything happen on the plane, it's usually during takeoff or landing. And those are the parts I don't mind. So then that made me feel better about being up in the air and being turbulent, and there being turbulence. So, and I mean, I've never been in super bad turbulence. Ross has been in turbulence where basically the train or the plane just dropped and people screamed, and I'm like, it's a good thing I wasn't on that plane.
We were on one of those really, really awful flights, which is how I think my husband developed the fear. It was one of our early trips, and it was a really bad flight. And people were sick, and we saw people leave their feet in the aisles. It was a little, I have to say, I was probably mildly nervous on that flight, thinking it's pretty turbulent, but he like I could watch the sweat. He was wearing shorts and sandals, and I could actually see the sweat rivulets running down his legs. He was a mess, a mess. Oh, they are 3-inch long flying roaches. Okay, Valerie, keep them where you are.
No kidding.
Do not bring
What are they called?
Palmetto bugs.
Oh.
Oh, goodness. Oh.
She said they make me stop breathing. They'd make me stop breathing too, I think.
Sue said they're cockroaches, but they're big ones that can fly. Oh my gosh. Just ugh.
Sarah says there's going to be a big cicada swarm in the eastern U.S. soon. Apparently, they're waking up after 17 years underground. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Linda landed in a tornado warning. She landed in a tornado warning, and my brother was actually on a plane that got struck by lightning. They landed safely, and when they got off the plane, he said you could see the hole through the plane where the lightning had struck it. And I'm like, I don't need to know that.
All right, this is putting a buzzkill on all our travel plans here.
Okay.
Nobody's going to want to go to Norway with us if we're talking about horrible travel stories now. Oh, dear.
Okay, Julia says the pilots have to have simulator training every 6 months for 3 hours. They run through everything that can go wrong, so their responses are second nature. Let's stop talking about planes now. We're good.
I'm not nervous. Well,
I still want to go. I still want to go places, and it's the only way to get to a lot of places.
Yeah,
so.
But my theory is, people are so nervous about the plane. Like, seriously, do you think, the pilot, he doesn't want to endanger himself.
No, I know.
He's going to do everything within, I'm completely comfortable with it. I'm moving into a new color. I'm getting bright blue in here now. It's so pretty.
I'm like thinking I'm making mistakes.
See, now people are saying the boat looks better, but the boat.
No.
We're going to lose valuable shopping for yarn time if we take the boat, ladies.
After seeing all the cruise boats in the pandemic, I don't think I would ever go on a cruise. Can't do it.
Oh, that would have been terrible.
I never wanted to go on a cruise in the first place, and that just reinforced I'll go on a small boat that only has a few people, but not a big floating hotel boat. Oh, Valerie, Julia's husband is a pilot. That's why she knows all this.
Well, see, now you've just made us all.
He can fly us.
He can fly us there. Can we rent him, Julia? Valerie wants to know what sweater you're wearing, and then she wants to know what everybody's favorite cardigan pattern is.
Okay. This one is the Whippet cardigan by Ankestrick. And I love it. I would definitely knit it again. And it's.
Can you show us the sleeves?
Yes. They are here. I'll take it off. So the sleeves are it's knit top down, and the sleeves are contiguous. So they look like a set-in sleeve, but they're all done in one piece. So it gives a really nice fit up around the shoulders. I don't know if you can see there the shoulder construction. Okay. I don't know if you can see, you really can't see it because it just all blends in. But anyways, it's just basically a little seam. It looks like a seam, but it's not. So it looks like your shoulder seam, and then it kind of goes out like a set-in sleeve, but it's all done working back and forth in one piece. So there's nothing to sew in when you're done. And then it's the same as other like top down where you put the sleeve stitches on a holder once you get the body part done or the yoke part done, and then knit the sleeve down after. But yeah, super easy construction. It's got a little kind of, can you see the V at the front? Kind of comes down a little bit.
Really nice. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
It's an old one. Like this is, I don't know how old. Old before, I don't even know if it's on Ravelry. Like if I put it on Ravelry, I don't remember. So it's quite old. And it's done in Debbie Bliss Fine Donegal.
I really like it.
Yeah, I would definitely do this one again. It's a nice, just like throw over. It'd be nice in just like a gray color, just to kind of go with everything. Thanks, Mary. And favorite cardigan?
Shalom cardigan, Mary likes.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with that one. Julia says he's a regional flight pilot. He can take us to Timmins or Sudbury. Is there a yarn shop there, Julia? Maybe we'll consider it.
There probably is.
The Gramps Cardi, Natalie likes. The Gramps Cardi by Tin Can Knits. My son wants one of those, Natalie.
The Gramps one, yeah. Simple Hug Cardi, Barb says.
Oh, Natalie.
Someone else said that. Janie. And mine. I still have my Christmas one.
But Natalie's mugs.
Oh, Tracy said the girlfriend cardigan.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have Natalie as a friend. She's not just a great friend, she's a fantastic potter, and her mugs sell out.
And knitter, and pattern designer.
And gardener.
Yes. Oh, Linda. Linda, the pattern is Whippet. Whippet by Ankestrick. And the weight it's a fingering weight. And Tracy says the girlfriend's cardigan. That is a really nice one. Do you remember that one that Tracy had on?
The one that Tracy made. I keep going back. I actually favorited it, Tracy, and I favorited yours. And then when I go into my sweaters, I always see that picture of you wearing it. I absolutely love that cardigan.
And she had mohair in it.
She had mohair in it, yeah.
Yes.
It was just such an amazing fabric.
Bentley cardigan by Marie Green. Mine, it's fingering weight.
The Simple Hug Cardi by Cozy Up Knits.
Yep.
That's a nice one too.
Ramona, that's a nice one.
And
Bentley, I'm not sure of. I don't know what it is. I can't remember what it looked like. Do you recall that one? The Bentley Cardi by Marie Green. I know she's got some. I know she's got some nice cardigans that they've done in those, like knit a cardigan in a week, like the Beekeeper.
Right.
And she had another one, but I can't remember. But I haven't heard of that one. Again, we'll have to go back and look all these up.
I've got one set aside that I want to do, and I'm thinking of using my Donegal yarn from Ireland for it, and I can't remember the name of the cardigan, but Taylor Owen just put it out.
Oh yes, recently. It was something about knots and
something about O. Wasn't it something about
knots and O?
I can't remember the name.
I know the one you mean. Like it's just it's just recently been published.
Yes. Yeah. I bought the pattern. I think I bought the pattern. I'm sure I did. The Dory by Amy Christophers. I don't know that one either. Look at all of these.
I don't know that one. I know.
Emily has the Ramona in her queue for fall. I love my Ramona, Emily. I love it. It was so much fun to knit.
It's just there's so many I want to knit and just not enough time to knit everything.
Yeah. Somebody was asking for the name of your cardigan. The O knot. That's right,
okay.
Eva. Yeah, the O. I thought it had an O.
I knew it had knot. You knew it had O.
The oh no. So, I saw Tabbouleh cardigan. That's another really pretty one too.
I have to look all these up.
And
Portage.
Somebody was asking about yours again. Is it Whippet, like Whippet?
Yes.
Do you remember? Yes. Okay,
yes.
Whippet.
Yeah. Dark and Stormy by Tia Coleman. I like that one too. I have that on my favorites.
That's the one we were talking about last week, and we weren't sure if it was a sweater or a drink. Right? The Dark and Stormy.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Yep. And Alton. Yes, Alton is a nice cardigan. I like my Alton.
Yes, it's nice. Very nice.
It's really nice too, because with the mohair and the merino, like it's a really, really light cardigan. Like I think it's a lot of the sizes only take 2 skeins of a single and 1 skein of a mohair. So the whole sweater ends up being less than 250 grams. So it's a really light sweater, but it is still warm.
Natalie's talking about the Solstice Cardi. I don't know that one, Natalie. And she says it's a 3/4 summer one. And I'm always looking for summer cardigans.
I know I was thinking I needed to cast on something linen or cotton because we are going to get nicer weather. So even though I'd rather knit with wool.
I ordered some this week.
You did? From where?
From Wool Warehouse. They were having a cotton sale. So what did I buy? I bought 2 sweater quantities. And I'm just trying to remember. It was Lynn's fault. I'm going to call her out. Lynn's my coworker. And we were talking about it at lunch. And by the time lunch was over, we had placed an order. It was bad. The Fuller East Cardigan by Sari Nordland.
And the Wave of Change. I think that's the one by Denise Bayron.
Yes.
It's kind of a jacket. Yeah, that is a nice one.
Reagan.
Oh, Donna has to say bye. Okay, bye, Donna. Nice of you to join us. Talk to you next week.
That's what I'm going to make, Tracy. We're going to make
ranunculus?
A summer ranunculus. Yes. Yes.
So is it like a DK weight?
I don't even remember. Tracy, what did we order? You probably ordered the same. And then there was another one. When I went in to look at a certain pattern, this certain drops yarn had been used like 16 times to make this pattern. So a lot of other people had the same idea as me. And now I can't even remember. Neither can Tracy. No, Barb, Naughty Yarnies is in, or sorry, no, Barb, Wool Warehouse is in the UK. And,
yes.
But the shipping is pretty quick and it's really cheap. I think it's $3.99, but that's in pounds. So about $7 shipping from the UK takes a couple of weeks. And
Tracy said she got white. Do you remember what color you got?
Yes. No. That's terrible. No. That's terrible. One was a purple, like it was a pale color, but the tone was deep. And then the other one was, that's terrible. That's all I have to say about that. That's terrible that I would buy something and a few days later can't even remember what I ordered.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. And it was, you can't beat the prices, right?
Well, when I was up visiting Tracy last year in Bala, I think I bought 3 sweater quantities of like cotton, linen. So I need to get those out and knit them before I order anything else. So. Linda said, sorry, she missed today. Yep. See you next week, Linda. The Siri cardigan. I love the Siri cardigan. That is on my list. I definitely want to do that one.
I don't know that one.
It's really neat. It's got a really neat pattern through it. I really like it. Like it's like a texture thing by Emily.
I'll have to look that one up too. There's so many things to look up.
Yes. Yep. Well, now that I got a sweater off the needles, I can cast on another one.
I know. I picked up a sweater this week that was sitting in a timeout, and I've been working on it a little bit in the evenings. So hopefully that'll be done.
What one was that?
Is this our podcast weekend? Has it been 3 weeks?
Yes.
Well, maybe it won't be done for the podcast. Maybe it will. Maybe I can push. And I wanted to make a dress last weekend. I didn't get to that either. The weekend flew. It just flew.
Yep. So I know I was thinking about what to cast on, or should I finish the sleeves on my sweaters that it's going to be too hot to wear them once I get them done, or do I start on? But I hate picking up something after I'd rather get them done. I should get them done. I don't know. No, I want to start something new. I don't know.
So I was working on my Deshane sweater.
Okay. I wondered if it was that one.
So the the front is finished, the back, I'm on the last couple of rows, and then I just have the sleeves. So maybe I'll be done by the weekend.
Yeah, because it's a loose, and it's a loose gauge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So I was thinking I wanted to make the ranunculus, and I wish I could remember what that other sweater was. And it's just so funny because I started to look it up, and a bunch of people had used that same drops yarn. That's really bad.
Did you favorite it?
I don't know. I don't have any device. I didn't bring any devices down with me, so I can't look anything up. But there's something else that I should have done before we popped on here tonight was checked into our Rising Stars cowl. I haven't looked at that in a couple of days, and so we're at what, the 11th of May. So we still have
we still have a couple of weeks.
20 days. You still have 20 days to finish the project for that. And we have to decide on a really good price for that.
Price for that, yeah. Yep.
So we'll do that too. And there's been so many great patterns in there too.
Yes. Linda says what she's going to be doing tonight is looking up all the cardigan patterns. That's right. And Mary wants to know if we're project knitters or process knitters. I'm both.
And there's, it depends, right on the project, right?
Like definitely the one I just finished, the all over color work. I loved doing it. That's why it got done before the other things that I'm doing. But if I'm doing something in linen or cotton, I do not enjoy working with linen and cotton, but I want the sweaters. So those are definitely project knits.
Okay. Well, I have to say I'm not having the time of my life working on the Deshane with that yarn because it's on larger needles too. And I have to say I'm not I like the idea of larger needles getting your project done quicker. I like that idea, but my comfort level with my hands is always going to be to a smaller needle. Like it just feels better.
It feels better. Yep.
And so I don't know. I like that, but Mary says she's processed, but cowls get her focused. And that's a good point too. Like if you have like a focal point, right? Where you've got some other people that are doing something similar. And this is something I sent you an email today and maybe you didn't get it. Somebody had emailed me.
I didn't get it. I didn't get it till like a few minutes before we were doing this and then the whole microphone thing. But yeah, I did see it.
Yeah. So somebody had asked me about how we did our night shift shawls. And there's been so much interest around the night shift shawls. And I know that you and I are both planning to do another one. So I was thinking maybe we should say, let's start a night shift cowl on a certain date. And then that way, if people want to sort of knit along on the night shift, because I know that there's quite a few people that have bought the Akari yarn that wanted to do that as well. And then they had some questions. It's a really intuitive shawl pattern, I found. But sometimes it's fun if you're knitting it along with other people.
I actually find it would be something that I could do during this. Yeah.
And the fun thing about knitting with the Akari is that even if you and I were knitting the exact same two skeins, it still would end up looking different because we might switch the main color to the alternate color at a different spot in our yarn. So it would end up looking a little bit different. And I think,
well, even if we didn't, because the balls are wound different, every ball is not the same. The colors don't appear in the same place.
Right.
Like yours wouldn't start at the same spot that mine starts at. So it would still look, there'd be no two shawls that ever look the same.
Yeah. So that's maybe a heads up. That might be coming up in June. Because our Rising
we'll wait till the other one ends. Yeah.
May. Yeah. Yep. So maybe that's what we'll.
Yep. Michelle's, I think she's already done a couple and she said she's got more Akari. So
it's such a pretty shawl.
It is, and it's such nice yarn. But I mean, if you're going to do it, if you want to do it with us, you can do it in whatever yarn you want. Yeah, like you don't have to do it in the Akari yarn. You can do it in whatever yarn you want. So
I think it would be fun to see it in
different yarns.
Yep. Because now there's so many more of them out there as well.
Yep. Like, I should thin hands fun to do it.
Yes, you should.
That would be awesome. I'm not that organized. I'll do my Akari one. Maybe next year.
Peggy wants to know what a good drops yarn is for a color work sweater. Well, well, which weight, I guess, are you headed for? Because
I don't know.
The nice thing
I don't think I've done
is that their colors are consistent. Like they carry the same colors through all of their lines of yarn. So if I can reach it here, hang on.
Mary wants to know if we could open it up to those who want to do the cowl version instead of the shawl.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
The shift along. It could be shifty anything.
Along. Yep.
Shift along. Well, I think that's one of her patterns actually, isn't it? But
Peggy says works weather or worsted.
This is Alaska, and it's 100% wool, and I think it would be great in a colorwork sweater. It's really it's pretty soft, and because it's 100% wool, I think for colorwork it would be great. So if you wanted to do something in that weight, there's Alaska, Nepal. I think is
that a worsted weight?
It's a worsted, and it is it's a blend. It's a wool alpaca blend. So that would also be good for color work because the alpaca would make it pretty toothy.
Well, they do have the fable too.
The fable is a fingering, and it's quite thin. I have used it for socks. I have to say, I particularly wasn't.
But in a fingering weight colorwork sweater, because you basically have two strands of it across.
Right.
I'm just thinking of the toothiness of it because it is more rustic than some of the sock yarns. It does have grab.
I felt it was thin.
Yep. Yes, Tracy. Anything shifty, the shawl, the cowl, a sweater, sure. With that pattern, yep. I know I do want to do the shifty sweater.
Yeah, that would be great out of your hand spun. Didn't Tracy do? Tracy, yes. Didn't you do one?
I know, but Tracy's a way better spinner than I am. I'm not there yet. So
I think it would be great. Can you use a kari in the cowl?
It would be, well, the cowl is actually calls for more like a fingering
light sport.
Yeah. So it might be a little thick for the cowl, at least to follow the directions of what it is. I think you'd have to do some adjusting on stitch count and that if you were going to use a kari.
And Barb says that you can get a coupon code for any of Andrea's patterns when you sign up for her newsletter. That's right too.
Okay, yeah. Good. And I know if you order from Wool Warehouse too, like you can go, do you know that too? You can go on and look for Wool Warehouse coupons. Like just type in and you can usually find one that at least gets you 10 or 15% off.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
So
I do now.
Now you do.
Now we all do.
There we go.
Mary heard Alaska and she thought we were heading back to destinations.
Oh.
That would be fun too. I've not been to Alaska. I'd love to go there.
Yeah. Yep.
Very good.
Well, that's a good thought for everyone then to figure out what you want to do for your shifty along.
Shift along.
Yeah, but she has a pattern called shift along. That's the hat. So we should think of a different shift name for the cowl.
Yeah. We'll have to come up with a name for that.
We'll come up with something. Yep.
Simply shifty.
Yes.
That's what we call it. Simply shifty.
Shifty.
Summer shifty. Yeah.
Yeah, because it'll be a summer cowl.
Yeah, it would be. And you could do any shifty thing.
Any shifty.
30% off. Where? 30% off of what, Barb?
I wonder if she means the patterns from Andrea Mowry. When you sign up, you can get a pattern with. So I have to do the cowl too. I haven't done the cowl yet.
Marianne says Schiff's Creek. I like that.
Schiff's Creek. Okay, that sounds good.
I'm not sure if you're outside of Canada, you may not know what that reference is, but there's a Canadian comedy show that just ended and it was called Schitt's Creek. And it was fantastic.
Yes.
Swing shift.
Swing shift.
Okay. Well, put your thinking caps on, people.
Okay.
And we will revisit this for May, I think, because we get regular comments on those shawls and on all things shifty. So I think it would be.
Well, and I think it's also I think it's a pattern that any generation would like it. Like, because like my daughter loves it as much as I do. And my mom would love one as much as I do. So I think it's a shawl that can kind of suit anybody's taste.
And there were so many things. There was, because we did the hats.
Yep.
I did the cowl. We did the shawl.
Yep. Tracy's done the sweater.
Yeah.
Was there more?
I don't know, but I did want to do, I kept saying I was going to go back and do them. I was going to do just some fingerless mitts to go with the cowl and the hat. Didn't get back there to do it, but shifty pieces. There we go. Oh, Tracy said that there's a coupon code at Wool Warehouse. Coupon SC23 gives you 10% off.
But it's for anything that isn't on sale. So if your stuff was already on sale.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
I've been waiting.
Good because we order mohair and stuff from there on a regular basis, right?
We do. And there's actually in the Nepal, I have been waiting for probably a month and a half now for a yarn color to come in stock. It's just one of their basic colors, but it's the beige mix. I shouldn't even say it out there because if it comes in, everybody stay away from it. I want it. I want to make the Caitlin Hunter shawl. Was it Wellerman? It's Well something.
Okay.
And I want to make the shawl. I think it's Wellerman. The Wellerman.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. The Wellerman shawl. And it's like a textured shawl. So I want it in the Nepal because I want that heavier weight. And that's going to be like another one of my house shawls, we'll call it. But this beige mix is stuck in my head. It's what I want. And it's been out of stock for over a month. And that's not the normal for Wool Warehouse. They're actually really good at restocking. So this is a bit of an abnormality, but I'm stocking it. How long does it take?
A couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks, not very long.
But now if it's going to a different place in Canada, I'm not sure because I think Barb's out west. So I'm not sure that it would be whether there would be any difference or not. But I know for us here, it's usually a couple of weeks.
Oh, Sarah's made the sweater too, and the cowl. I really like it.
Yeah,
it's mosaic. If somebody's not familiar with it, it's mosaic. So even though it's color work, you're only ever using one color at a time. So you go across and back with one, with one color and slipping stitches.
Yes, but
and
it's
then you
also
go across
texture.
and back. And then there's texture because she's combined it with a simple knit purl texture.
Yeah.
So
Sandy said, is the sweater too warm? The sweater is fingering weight because the one that they use with it is the what's the expensive one? Expensive yarn. Spin cycle. It's a spin cycle. So it is a fingering weight, but you are carrying. But so it should, I don't think it should be too bad.
Barb is an hour outside of Ottawa. So I think you'd be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Barb,
then you should be fine. Yep.
Couple of weeks for sure. It comes through Royal Mail, and I don't know, we've never had a problem. Like sometimes I can't believe how quick it gets here. Sometimes it will even come faster than that.
They pack it up and ship it really quickly too.
They do. Yeah, like usually the next day. And they are a family-owned business too. So I'm always happy to support that.
Yeah, I've never had any problems with anything that I've ordered from them. So
okay. Well, Miss Noelle, we're at
I think
hour and 24 minutes.
So everybody get your shifting caps on and figure out what you're going to make. And that'll probably be our summer cow.
It is nice to have some advance notice on something too. And
you can go and check out the patterns.
I didn't discuss it with you. I just kind of threw it out there, but I think it'll be a good one. And I've definitely got something to make with it already. So,
well, I'll maybe do the sweater and the shawl.
There you go. There you go.
Got my whole summer knitting planned now. So Tracy says she usually gets hers in 10 days.
Yeah. It's pretty quick. So, it's pretty quick.
Yep. Oh, Valerie says we make a rough week better. Thanks, Valerie. You guys make our week better too. I was sort of feeling.
I still missed everybody on Sunday, even though Sunday was a busy day because
it was.
You know, it's Mom's Day, so it was a busy day.
Yeah.
And but anyway,
Marianne's sitting outside knitting. Well, we can't do that here, Marianne. We would freeze.
And Susan is off to pattern stock, the shifty patterns. Tracy, I did request that they
and you're still waiting,
but
for
I'm
them
still
to tell you that. Wow.
Yes, but I'm still stocking it because, you know, what if they don't get to me before I can see them? So usually once a week I go in and I check to see if it's there yet.
Deborah says, thanks for all the laughs. Happy non-birthday, Deborah.
Happy non-birthday. Don't we feel silly?
Anyway, well, I'd rather wish someone a happy birthday and be wrong than completely not get their birthday. So. Yeah.
That way, in case we do forget your birthday, we're up one already. Okay, we've got to pass on that. So anyway, well, thank you so much, everybody, for spending some time with us. It has been lovely. This coffee shop is amazing. I think we should come here again next week.
I know. I think so.
And I love how it's so spacious and we can all fit at the same table.
Yeah, and we're all making plans for the same vacation.
We are. It's going to be so much fun.
The same around the world in 88 stitches or 80 stitches.
I know.
So
yes, it's so much fun.
Okay.
So
we'll want to hear about everybody's yarn choices and what they figure they might do next week. So
yeah, that's a good idea. Start rolling out with the plans.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Something to look forward to. All right, everybody. Take care.
Okay, take care, everybody. We'll talk to you later.